very important when you go to install the 40-gallon refueler to fit the tank up first, kind of do a dry run, and you got to make sure that the feet are going to work out with your framework underneath the truck. We use a hoist here in the shop. It's helpful to have someone help you do it too. Once you get the tank in the back of the truck, take a tape measure and measure side to side and make sure they're both the same. And we are even. And then it's helpful to use either a Sharpie or a paint pen. And you reach under here and mark the feet, and there's 4 feet. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Once you got your feet marked out for the fuel tank, you got to look underneath and find a suitable spot to drill the 1¼ hole for the harness. So once you're under the truck, what you want to do is find a suitable spot where you can come through with a hole saw and you're not going to hit the fill and vent lines. Yeah, so I'm about to start drilling the feet for the tank, and you're going to want to start with a 1/4 inch pilot bit. After you get the pilot bit drilled with the 1/4 inch holes, then you switch to a 9/16 drill bit. That'll be for the final hole size for the bolts. After you drill the holes for the feet, you're going to want to switch over to 1¼ hole saw, and that's the one you're going to put through the side of the bed to route the harness. A little shop vac and clean up all the shavings from the drilling process. Okay, so in the kit provided with the tank, there's a little bag in here with this, and it has zip ties and some connectors, and you're going to want to get the grommet out of there. This is it, 1¼ grommet. This is going to go through the side of the bed where you drilled through with the hole saw. So go ahead and just put it in there. The grommet has a groove in it, and it'll ride through the sheet metal, and that's going to keep your harness from chafing on any metal. So once you place the tank back in the truck, you're going to need this bag of hardware that also comes with the kit. It has the bolts and shims and everything. And certain trucks, the corrugation are different, so you might have to do, this is what the shim comes like, and you cut the center out like that so that you can slide the bolt through it. And you want these shims in there in order to keep the corrugations of the bed from getting crushed. Okay, so after you get the hole drilled through the firewall and you route your harness through, you're going to want to find a suitable spot for the light and switch. Get this. This is the side that goes as a battery. It's the side with the inline fuse holder. And in that same kit that had the grommets, you're going to find these ring terminals. And go ahead and put one on each depending on what battery you have. So I went with the smaller hold ones because of the terminals that are on the battery. And then basically you're just going to hook up the red to the positive and the black to the negative. And what we like to do until the process is all the way complete is pull the fuse all the way out, and that way you don't have a connected terminal so that the wires are not hot in the back. So after you get the harness wire to the battery, you're going to want to take this end and run it down the frame rail next to the OEM harness and eventually get it out into the whole 1¼ hole that you drilled next to the tank, because this end's going to hook up to the pump. Okay, so once you get the harness ran up to the 1¼ hole up to the side of the bed, you're going to want to get it wired to the pump. So what I've done is threaded it under the pump here, and then you're going to take this, which is a strain relief, and it's from the kit bag that had the grommets in it. You take this in, screw it into the back of the pump. And this end is going to go on the wire loom, the harness. You're going to take a 7/16 inch socket and loosen the front pump cover. Go ahead and remove all 3 of the bolts. And that will expose the positive and ground for the pump. You go ahead and run the loom through the back, the harness. Grab the 2 pieces of provided heat shrink and put it over the ends of the wires. Once you have the heat shrink over the butt connectors, we like to use the heat gun, but if you have a different heat source, go ahead and just shrink the heat shrink. So basically we're at the last stage of the install, and what that entails is adding the pump hose and nozzle. So you just screw on the nozzle on the one end of the hose. They're both the same thread, so it doesn't matter. Put a little sealant in there, which is provided in the kit, and then just thread this in. Once you get the hose started in the pump, it's easier to thread it in if you extend it all the way out and just twist it like this. And once you see it stop turning and getting stuck, that's when you go back and take a crescent wrench or any size wrench that fits it and tighten it up.